Hey YouTube, this is the Charizard Authority. This video will be my booster box collection video. Before we get into that, I would like to give a shout out to my wife. She has a new photography site. I know some of you went and saw it before and liked the page. If you go onto Facebook, it's like Anna Oakley Photography now. I'll have a link below in the description. And if just some of you want to go check it out, she does have a picture up of me and my daughter. I will not be doing a face reveal video ever, so if you want to see what I look like, you can just go check that out. But anyways, let's jump into the booster box video. This video will be quite long as there are 63 expansions and several sets have different variants. So we're going to go in reverse order, and I'm going to try to get all of the booster sets into this one video. So the first one is the recently released Primal Clash. Roaring Skies will be out in May. So I don't have that one yet, of course, but I will. Alright, so there's the very first booster box. Each one of these I will be pulling in and then straight, or out and then straight back into their plastic case. Which, if you're wondering what I just use these $1 Echo or Sterilite plastic boxes that you can get at Dollar General. The second one, so right before Primal Clash, was XY Phantom Forces. So we're in Generation 6, I believe. Hopefully I have these ordered correctly. This might end up getting jumbled. So before that set was XY Furious Fists. All of these booster boxes are relatively easy to come by right now. You can find them on most sites for $90 or less. If you want to buy a bunch, you can probably get them for $85, maybe even cheaper than that. Before that was XY Flash Fire. This was the second box in the XY release. It had all those Charizards. I think there was 2 regular Charizard EXs, 2 regular art Mega Charizard EXs, a full art Charizard EX, and then 2 secret rare regular art Mega Charizard EXs. So this set was highly popular. To finish off the 6th generation up to this point, what has been released, we have the XY base set. It was the first set released. It featured Mega Venusaur EX and Mega Blastoise EX, the very first Megas. Pretty sure the very first Megas. Okay, before that we had the Black and White series. This was Generation 5. The first booster, or the last booster box to be released, was the Legendary Treasures reprint set. The EXs themselves were reprints. A lot of the arts were not, and they actually look really cool. Maybe they were copied from Japanese sets, I don't know. But this set also had the Radiant collection, which was, I guess, the parallel of the Shiny collection from Japanese. Before that we have Plasma Blast. A lot of the decks in the World Championships for 2014 included the Genesect EX and Virizion EX cards. That's about all I can tell you about Plasma Blast. I opened up lots and lots of boxes and put up lots and lots of videos of these. In fact, I still have probably 10 videos of me opening up boxes that I have not published. Before that was Plasma Freeze. I did not buy this set in bulk. This was before I started getting into the newer stuff, really heavy, which from what I was told, it was an excellent seller because it had Deoxys EX, which is, from what I know, or from what I'm told, still being used in decks. Here's Plasma Storm. I didn't invest too much into Plasma Freeze, but I did buy a couple of cases of Plasma Storm because I was curious. And this set did not set me back. It had some really good stuff in it. I liked pulling the Lugia EXs and Articuno EXs. Before that we had Black and White Boundaries Crossed. I may have bought one case of this set. I think the most popular card from this one was the Keldeo Tornadus, or no, Landorus. He was pretty popular as well. But this is the set that actually got me into selling newer product retail, because I pulled one of those full art Keldeo EXs, put it online for $55, and it sold within 5 minutes. I couldn't believe how fast newer product goes. Before that, we had Black and White Dragons Exalted. Don't know too much about this set. I know the Mew EX was a really good World Championship card, I guess, because it was in a few of the decks and it sells great. The World Championship card, which is a promo, it's not tournament legal at all, it's still sold out in my store for $9.95 each, so I was really surprised about that. Before that, we had Dark Explorers. The Darkrai EX was an insanely popular card. Since then, it has pretty much dropped off the map from what I can tell, but at the time, I think this card was ran in almost every one of the 2013 decks. I know it was ran at least 2 of the 2013 World Championship decks that was published out to the public. Before that, we had Black and White Next Destinies. Now this still has a very highly popular card in it. It's the Mewtwo EX. I remember the full art was going for like $90 or something right when it came out. I opened up 2 cases of these, or actually my wife opened up a case or 2 of these here recently. I'm trying to think, it was 1 case she opened up, and the pull rates were horrible. It was on average 2 EXs and 1 full art per box. So in an entire case we had 6 full arts and 12 other EX cards. That's out of order. Before that, we had Black and White Noble Victories. This set was quite popular. Well, actually, no, I don't think it was that popular. The only card out of here that I remember being used much is N and Victini. I could be wrong, but I know that the full art N and just even the common Ns, I mean, they're like $5 each now, just the trainers or something. I mean, that's a lot if you compare it to the average release price of trainers now. I guess because they've gotten so scarce and you can't find those boxes sealed much anywhere. Before that, we had Black and White Emerging Powers. This come out with the Pokemon Catcher, which got up to like $13 each, $15 each. These are just common trainers. It was the equivalent of, I believe, Gust of Wind. Since then, I believe the parallel card to that is Lysander or something. I could be wrong, but other than that, I'm not really sure there's too much of anything that comes out of this booster box that's worth a whole lot of money. Maybe Max Potion comes from this set. I can't quite remember. But there's only 2 ultra rares, and I think it's Tornadus and a Landorus that are technically full art, but they're not EX. So they used to sell for like $5 each. You could get both of them in a single box. To round out the Black and White series, we have the Black and White base set, where you had Reshiram and Zekrom as the new full arts that come out. I guess these were the first full arts, the first technical full arts. They weren't EX cards or anything special about them in that manner. Didn't buy too much from this set. Looks like I could use a new box for my collection there based off the condition. But it is sealed. So we are through Generation 5 now. Now we keep going back to Generation 4. This is split up into, I believe, Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum, and then the very last booster box to come out, a standalone series of Call of Legends. I do believe this was not released in the Japanese set, just like the Legendary Treasures. Now, I believe this is a set with the SL 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through 9. Very popular cards. To be honest, I didn't invest any at all during this time into newer product because it seemed like these sets were pretty much a flop. But as Pokemon got more popular, leave Heart Gold Soul Silver. Let me check. I did see how the sales greatly affected other sales. But before that we had Heart Gold Soul Silver Triumphant. I couldn't tell you much about these cards other than they have primes. And there's the sealed box. Ooh, that is not good. Alright, before that we had, it's not the right set. Before that we had Heart Gold Soul Silver Undaunted. It's got a Jolteon on the front and a Houndoom on the side. I assume this had Houndoom Prime and a few others like that. Somewhere in these Heart Gold Soul Silver series, it may have been all four of them, they had these half art legend cards where if you got one you could get the other and you put it together and it'd be like two Pokemon over the span of two cards, but you'd have to like turn them sideways. Those have gotten more popular and more expensive to find just because most of these were really played. Before that we had Heart Gold Soul Silver Unleashed. Seeing Entei, Raikou, and Suicune, I assume that this is the one with the Entei and Raikou Legend and Raikou Suicune Legend and so forth. It's got Crobat on the side, so it probably had a Crobat Prime. We're still in Generation 4 that started with the Call of Legends, but this does round out the Heart Gold Soul Silver Series 4. Generation 4. This is Heart Gold Soul Silver base set. We've had Typhlosion Prime, Meganium Feraligatr Prime. The legends were Lugia and Ho-Oh. So those have gotten really cheap at one point, and I'm sure they've gone back up. So next we're into Platinum, and the last release for Platinum was Arceus. Of course it featured Arceus. It had Arceus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe that was all that there was. For Platinum Arceus we had Platinum Supreme Victors. This was the set, I do believe, that had Charizard level X. So there was a lot of hype about that. Of course it made Charizard level X prices go down greatly for a while there because of the 10 that come out. But last I checked, or when I bought mine for my personal collection again, it was back up to $15. I assume that it is spiked again since that price. For that we had Platinum Rising Rivals. Can't recall too much what's in this set. I see the Leafeon, so maybe this was the set with the Leafeon and Glaceon level X's, which were... I don't think those were in this set, but they may have been. Whatever set the Leafeon and Glaceon level X's were in, those cards were expensive. Round out the Platinum series, we just have Platinum base set. Said the Giratina, Palkia, Dialga, Shaman. Level X cards were a unique addition to the Pokemon game. I think it was a good move for Nintendo or Pokemon USA after they come out of the EX series. Brought back a lot of collectors to the game. The last series for Generation 4 was Diamond and Pearl. This was pretty much where Pokemon got a fresh start, where they started putting out the level X's. Here we have Stormfront. I believe this one featured a Raichu level X. Could be wrong. It's showing Regigigas and Fernic Torterra and Dusknoir. I don't think these two were in here, but I'm pretty sure Regigigas and Dusknoir were. If you try to find level X cards now in mint condition, it is almost impossible. You might as well just spend the extra money on a sealed booster box. Next up we have Legends Awakened. Now I'm seeing a Luxray on here, and if the Luxray G level X was... No, Luxray G level X was from Rising Rivals. That card was insanely expensive. It was like $80 plus for a while there just because nobody had them. I was selling the World Championship cards for $20 each. Next up we have Majestic Dawn. Can't recall too much of what was in this set. If Darkrai Level X was in the set, then I guarantee you that card was selling very well. One of the more popular cards from that generation. Next up we have Diamond and Pearl Great Encounters. I believe the big name card from this one was Cresselia Level X. No, Darkrai Level X and Cresselia Level X, they were both big name cards. The Cresselia was $50 plus at one point. Next we have Diamond and Pearl Secret Wonders. We're still in Generation 4. Don't remember too much about this set, but there's the sealed box. Back when these sets were coming out, here's Diamond and Pearl Mysterious Treasures. I was in college just getting back into Pokemon. I think this was the set that came out, and those three, Uxie, Mesprit, and Azelf, those were all big cards. I think they were all selling for $20 to $30 each right when the set came out. But I would buy packs on eBay for $20, and then I would trade them to my roommate to drive me home when we went back this way, because it was a 2-hour drive and I'd usually give him 20 bucks. So I'd give him 10 packs instead. Here we have Diamond and Pearl base set. Got the Palkia and Dialga Level X. I believe the promos that come out in the set were the Infernape, Torterra, and Polion. They'll probably come out in the set too. I just mentioning all these sets at once is having them run together in my mind. Okay, so we've been through Generation 6, 5, and 4. Now we're working back to Generation 3. So we're not quite halfway through with this video, because there's a lot more sets to come, and they will be going into probably a little bit better detail. Here we have EX Power Keepers. The X series, I can't tell you too much about them. I know the Gold Stars come out during this set. It was during a time of decline for Pokemon. You probably could have got these things dirt cheap. When I got back into playing, I know I saw several of these boxes on Craigslist for like $75 each, sealed boxes. Dragon Frontiers had the Gold Star Charizard. That card alone now, I mean, mint condition, I mean, you're looking at 100, 150 bucks plus if you get it graded. I mean, you're looking at well over that, a lot higher than that. For that we had Crystal Guardians. Can't tell you a whole lot about it, just that you just don't see these EX series booster boxes that often. The hardest box, one of the hardest boxes for me to find was EX Team Magma and Aqua. Here we have Holland Phantoms. I believe it did have the Mewtwo Gold Star. Yeah, it had the Gyarados Gold Star, and not those other two. Moving right along, there are 16 sets for Generation 3, if you are wondering. For that we had Legend Maker. This booster box was readily available to the public for fairly cheap, less than $200 right up until here recently. There's always these deals you see on eBay or wherever else, and you want to get them because you know that the prices are going to spike, but the market's so flooded at the time that you don't think it's a good investment. But later on you look back and you regret it. I had that with several items. I remember when the Gym Heroes booster boxes, those came out, those were flooded in the market just maybe a year or so ago, and you could get almost as many as you want for $200. Shoot, if I could find that amount of Gym Hero booster boxes for $250 now, I'd invest in it for sure. Unseen Forces had the Lugia EX, very, very popular. It was a $50 card in mint condition for a while there. I'm sure it's completely dropped off since then. EX Emerald had some ultra rare holographic energies. still popular because they've got a unique art to them. I may end up start scooting these back so I don't lose all my background. Here we have EX Deoxys. I believe this is the set with the Rayquaza and Latios Gold Stars that are super expensive. This booster box is slightly damaged, but I still paid $350 for it, and I think it was a great deal. The guy ended up throwing like three PSA cards in for free. That was really cool of him. Still need to replace it for a better condition one, but for now I've got it as a placeholder. Here's EX Team Rocket returns. For a while there I was getting these for around $250 each. I think they're back up to over $400 again. A lot of cool cards. One of the hardest sets to complete in my opinion, just because all of the EX cards are very, very popular. It has a lot of the dark cards in it, so people like them even more. It has a lot of cards with Team Rocket in their name. No, that set didn't have dark cards. I think that's Team Rocket Return. Yeah, it does. Here we have Fire Red, Leaf Green. This booster box has come down in price, I would say, quite a bit. For a while there, it was very expensive because of the main cards that are in it. It has the Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur EX. Just the Charizard EX averaged over $100 for many, many years. A mint condition would probably still easily get that. A PSA 10 one, get $300 plus. This was a hard booster box for me to come by. This is a Hidden Legends, mainly because the first one that I bought was a fake. I had to open it up and show that it was fake. In fact, I have one of the only fake booster box opening videos online. If you're curious about that, go check it out. It shows different ways to tell that booster boxes are fake. Next up we have EX Team Magma versus Team Aqua. Another hard booster box to come by. This was one of the last for me. I ended up paying like $700 or something, $750 just to get it. But with it taking so long, that was alright. Soon after, like literally right after I bought that box, another one popped up on eBay where somebody was asking $700 and some with best offer. This booster box, the EX Dragon, I got fairly cheap. Got it with several other boxes from somebody who was just selling them out. I don't see very many of these online. Latios and Latias EXs were popular cards, to say the least. Here we have EX Sandstorm, one of the last e-reader sets. Cards from EX Dragon and some from EX Team Magma versus Team Aqua were also e-reader cards. The reverse holos in both that set, Dragon and EX Ruby and Sapphire, were horrid. It is so hard to find these cards in mint condition now. This was the very first Generation 3 booster box. Introduced the Swampert, Blaziken, and the Sceptile. And this concludes Generation 3. So now we're getting back to the Wizards of the Coast series. These are all the booster boxes that everybody's trying to snatch up now. I'm going to tell you, if you don't get your booster boxes, even for Fossil and Team Rocket and sets like that now, you're going to be paying big if you want to get one in just a few short years. Okay, the last one for the Wizards of the Coast series was Skyridge. Beautiful box. For a while there, you could get these as many as you wanted for $200–300. Now you're going to be lucky to find one on the internet anywhere. The last few I saw sold for over $800. Next up, before that, was Aquapolis. Now I actually have two of these. The reason I have this one in here is because it does not have Wizards logos. The weight, I believe, is exactly the same. The box looks real. Everything looks real, except it does not have Wizards logos. And I'm not really sure why that is. I'm not convinced it's a fake, so I don't want to open it up. Now if you look at this one, I mean, if you examined everything I just showed you, I mean, it's going to match everything to a T, other than the fact it doesn't have the Wizards logos. And in general, that's a key indicator that your booster box or packs or whatever you have is fake. So I can't really sell it. Don't want to open it. I'm just keeping it for now. For that we had, not that set. Why is it? I think I went out of order on them. For that we had the first e-reader set, Expedition. This was a very large set. It was not as big as Skyridge or Aquapolis. Well, it may have been bigger than Aquapolis. Now I'm thinking about Skyridge was the largest set ever created. Expedition was probably the second largest. Has 165 cards with 165 reverse hollows and 4 box toppers. Plus there's not any non-hollow promos for this set. I always liked this being an orange booster box with reflective light. They just don't make booster boxes to look cool like they used to, in my opinion. Now this is probably the majority favorite set of almost any Wizard of the Coast collector other than base set, because of the firework holographic that is displayed on the reverse hollows. This set features a Charizard, has Dark Blastoise, pretty sure it has Venusaur, yeah. Has so many good cards in it. It has all the classic art to it, and then they all have reverse hollow in the firework foil. Now we're going back into the Neo series. Here's Neo Destiny. This is the unlimited booster box. You do not see a first edition stamp on the front. Up until now, all the sets that we have seen only have unlimited. As you will see with almost all of the sets from here out, they also have a first edition variant. All the cards in each set are exactly the same, with a few exceptions with errors like Dark Dragonite and other sets. Other than the first edition stamp that they will have on the left side of the card, about halfway up. Before Neo Destiny, there was Neo Revelation, or Neo 3. I haven't checked in a while to see how hard it is to come across Neo booster boxes, but I imagine you're not going to find them for $200, $300, $400 as easily as you used to. This first edition Neo Revelation box was one of the last Wizards of the Coast boxes that I was able to obtain. I paid a high price for it. It was like $800. But as you can see, it's in minty mint condition. For that we had Neo Discovery. Now this one does have a sticker on it, so I plan to eventually replace this. But I think I got it for $280. I figured it was a pretty good deal, especially since the rest of the box is in fairly good condition. For that we had, well, actually, here's the first edition Neo Discovery box. You can barely see it right there. For a while there, you could get these for about $400, fairly easily. But with the packs inside being worth so much more than that individually, I imagine it's hard to come by these first edition boxes for less than $600 now. So we're still in Generation 2, but the very first set to be released in Generation 2 was Neo Genesis. The 3 main starter Pokemon were Cyndaquil, Chikorita, and Totodile. They are still highly popular Pokemon today in the game. One thing I forgot to mention about Neo Revelation was it introduced the first Shining Pokemon. It's Shining Magikarp and Shining Gyarados. Neither Neo Genesis nor Neo Discovery had any Shining Pokemon or Ultra Rares. So that concludes Generation 2. We're back to Generation 1 now. The very last set to come out in Generation 1 was Gym Challenge. All the Pokemon cards in this set Blaine, Giovanni, Erica, Sabrina, Koga, names like that in the Pokemon's name itself. It made it difficult to evolve certain cards, because if you wanted to evolve into your Erica's Venusaur, it couldn't come from any Ivysaur, it had to come from Erica's Bulbasaur. Or Erica's Ivysaur, and then come from Erica's Bulbasaur. For that, you had Gym Heroes. This is pretty much a parallel set. I believe it was released right around the same time. Let me check my sheet over here and see if it was. Yeah, Gym Heroes was actually released 2 months before. Yeah, it was released 2 months before Gym Challenge was. Here's the first edition booster box for that as well. For that we had Team Rocket, and this introduced the very first secret rare card. There was Dark Raichu. Now there were several errors on the card. Most people thought the 8382 was an error, but it was not. It was released in the set. It was actually released quite early. Dark Raichu was not supposed to be released until Neo Discovery, but they released it in English in the Team Rocket set. Very popular card. Still popular today. The only set from the Wizards of the Coast series that did not, well, from the Generation 1 Wizards of the Coast series that did not have a first edition variant was base set 2. That's because this was a reprint set. It included mostly cards from base set, but also included cards from Jungle and Fossil as well. Now we're starting to get back into the heart of the beginning of Pokemon. Here we have Fossil. Fossil introduced a host of different cards. Zapdos had already been released. Moltres had not. Articuno had not, unless you went through like promos. Fossil cards like Aerodactyl and Kabutops and Lapras. This set, with the release of this set, you were able to construct a complete 150 card collection. And if you had promos with the Mew, you could actually win 151. Now, in the very beginning, they put out first edition limited printing, and they put the stamp on here. I remember when a guy used to sell 10 first edition Fossil packs at auctions for $15.95, and he'd hardly ever get bids on them. Now, one pack about pretty much goes for that. Now there is a variant that I do not have, which you will see that I do have for Jungle. It's a red logo, like Pokemon stamp. It's pretty much an international release for Fossil. It was released in Australia. This is to help prevent counterfeiting. But I have yet to be able to find a sealed Fossil red logos booster box. I don't know of anybody who has one sealed. I know a few people have opened them. I used to have packs myself, but I do not have the booster box. See, here's what the regular box looks like with yellow logos. So with Jungle, this was the second set released. It did have a pre-release card, Clefable, in which there's a lot of clouded mystery around that. From what I was told, there was 4 color variants for the dye from a double dye era. I don't know for sure if there was ever 4 released. I know that I've seen one. Everybody's seen the one pre-release with the green coloring. I was told there's 4 colors. I don't know if there really are or not because I have yet to see pictures of it. I'd love to see pictures of it. I'd love to get my hands on one of them. There's the first edition. Now we're getting down to the very first set released. Now this set, millions of prints, or millions of cards printed, and several different prints to it. I'm just going to go through all the variants that I have. By far, this is the most variants of any set that I've ever come across. Probably that will ever be printed for Pokemon. So here's the standard base set booster box sealed. What I mean by standard is that when it's sealed, too, it has Wizard logos on it. It's not first edition. It has the X on the back of the Venusaur, or there's no green wings on the Charizard. On the bottom, it has Made in USA, and it also has the international locations on it as well. So this is what a standard base set booster box is. So that's variant 1. Variant number 2 has the same thing. It has the Wizard logos on it. Everything's the same around the sides, except for on this side you can see 1999-2000 on it. Now if you looked at the Wizard logos on the previous one, they were not curved. They are curved on this one. It's also curved on the side. So this was a later release. Technically the booster box I just showed you was released before this one, but I wanted to show you a regular one first. This says made in the UK. So these have the 1999-2000 booster packs in them, which if any of you know about that brand of Pokemon, it has the corrected Vulpix on it. I think what else? That's about the only unique thing about it. Now the next one that I have has some writing on it, which is unfortunate. I'm sure I could get that off if I wanted to, but you notice it has the curved Wizard logos as well. Come to the side, you see the curved Wizard logos. Down here you see the 1999-2000. On the bottom it says made in Australia. So these, like the made in UK booster box, will have the 1999-2000 dates along the bottom of the cards. Now what sucks about opening up 1999-2000 packs for base set is that not all the holographics actually have those datings along the bottom. So you could open it up and be trying to complete the 1999-2000 dated base set, and those packs don't yield any holographics for you. Alright, so this next one, as you can see, is regular around all the sides, but there's no Wizard logos on it. So this was a very peculiar box to me, because the Wizard logos were not supposed to be removed, or they were supposed to only be off of the very first base set booster boxes and not on the ones that were printed later. I believe Gary Haas has mentioned before that Pokemon would just throw whatever they could around these booster boxes at times. So that may be very well what happened here. I really don't know, but I consider it a variant because it does not have the logos on the cellophane. What's inside, I really don't know. Next up is not a sealed booster box. It's not a sealed booster box. But this is the booster box that all of these, well, almost all of these packs come in, all but I think 3. And what's inside are the Black Triangle Error packs. And I have a full booster box of them. 12 of each cover art. 33 came out of this booster box originally. I bought it for $1,000. The other 3 had been auctioned off already. So I just added 3 that I had in my personal collection. So that's variant number 5. Next up we have another base set booster box that has the Wizards logos. You notice they are square. There's no X behind this Venusaur. The Charizard's wings are green. He's spitting out fire. And then on the bottom you see different locations, not just the Made in USA. So this is the standard green winged base set booster box. Next up we have another base set booster box. Has the Wizard logos, has the green winged Charizard on the side, but on the bottom it only has Made in USA. It does not have the other dates to it. It is likely that, well, there's a better chance than the other booster box I showed right before this that the cards inside of here could be shadowless. There's always a chance in pretty much every base set booster box from what I've been told, but it's not worth it to open it up in my opinion. Next up we have a booster box from the base set. It has the green winged Charizard on the side, and as you can see there are no Wizard logos anywhere on it. This booster box is very, very hard to find. I personally want one in a little better condition, but this one is good enough for me for now until I can find one that's in better condition. Of course, it only has the Made in USA in there. There's a good chance that the cards, the packs inside of here are also shadowless. I do not know enough about these to conclude whether or not they for sure will have them. Now we have one more booster box. I'm sure all of you know what I'm about to show. Well, all of you who have a collection based from the Wizard of the Coast era. This is a first edition base set booster box. It is in very good condition. As you can see, there are no Wizard logos. It has the Charizard green, or the Green Wing Charizard. Every pack in here should be first edition. As you can see, it has only made in the USA at the bottom. So this is by far the most expensive booster box that you can buy for English Pokemon. Last I saw in auction, one went for $7,000, one went for another $9,000 or so. Buy nows. I mean, I wouldn't sell it for less than 15 grand, just because I've watched them increase over and over and over again. At $15,000, I could buy another one. So that is every booster box that I have, or every variant booster box I have in my booster box collection. It should have shown every single set that is out up until this point in English, other than the red fossil logo box, which I explained I still haven't seen anybody with in the world. I'm sure there are some out there. People just don't realize what they have as a gem. If you have any questions about my booster box collection, or if you think I missed something, which I'm pretty sure I didn't, if you think I missed something, feel free to message me. I appreciate all of you for sticking it out and watching this entire video. I know it's long. Hopefully I can upload it to YouTube successfully with my account. Alright, stick around for more videos in the future. Thanks.